One of the things we wanted to talk about was the trade deadline and how how moments were impacted based on some of the key acquisitions or trades that we saw last week. We picked a couple of players that we thought were just like top news or headline top type of trades. The first player I want to talk about is Victor Oladipo, who's a player that I'm a fan of. If you go to our YouTube page, you'll see a video and I explain why. But I just wanted to share some information about like what I saw on the marketplace with Oladipo. Around the trade deadline, like the 24th, Thursday, Friday, we saw about 400, 500 on Thursday, Friday. Then it dropped to like 200, 100 transactions in the marketplace. A lot of his moments hit the marketplace after the pre-sale drop. So you see this like huge spike. And as a matter of fact, let me just share a little bit so everybody can see.
Yeah, and Houston got like chips, like nothing, like they just traded for like nothing, man. Although I do think Kelly Olynyk, is gonna help that team and stuff, but man, like
Olynyk is solid. So check this out. So you see this huge spike right here. This is like it's like 2,000 transactions in the marketplace for Oladipo. This is when the pre-sale packs were delivered, right? And then around trade deadline, you see about 500, 400 transactions. Yeah. But you know what? Like, it's interesting because, I don't think Oladipo, even like if you look at even the card market, Oladipo is like a very attractive type of player that people invest into.
You mean for the physical card market?
Yeah, and it seems like it's the same thing here. Like outside of a base set Series 1 that sold for like 5,000. Actually, no, it's a Series 2. It's a base Series 2. The serial number 1 sold for $5,000. So you can kind of consider that like a cap for base moments, right? That's the serial number 1. Like how would you're not paying more for anything else. That's a number 1, unless maybe jersey number
for sure.
Jersey number, year, perhaps, if you have that many minted. So I kind of went a little bit into a couple of moments of his, the base set Series 1, which is a 3-pointer, the 4,000 LE you see here. And huge spike around trade deadline. This is actually a lot of the transactions here, which makes sense. It's actually a really cool moment. It's the one where he's just like, he just kind of takes off, kind of like very far behind the 3-point line. He's not really known like as much of a shooter, but it's just a really cool moment. Going at about $990 for a serial 17. So you're kind of looking at about $1,000 for these type of moments.
Yeah.
It just depends. Like, again, I don't think people are looking at Oladipo as a huge investment, right? Like,
yeah, and he wasn't really playing.
Right. I do think, however, that he does benefit from good systems and good coaches. I think Spo is a solid coach. So this is his Series 1 metallic gold. Again, a little bit of a spike. But if you look at the prices here, it's not really showing much of an upward trend, right? Like, it's interesting. There's activity, but there's not.
Like MGLEs are like, that's a whole different price range,
Check this out. You're looking at 1,500 for a 2-digit serial. I mean, yeah, sure, 1,500 is a lot of money. I'm not gonna sit here pretend like 1,500 is not, but like,
for sure,
compared to other players, like that's not too crazy.
Would you have rather paid the extra $600 and got a MGLE versus that number 1 serial?
Totally. No. I think a number 1 serial is so valuable, man. But check this out. So, like, per jersey number and number 1 serial to me are the top serial numbers, right? Unless you have some like other strange way you like to collect, which is the beauty of this, right? Like you could collect zip codes of the arena that the moment happened in, right? Like you could collect whatever, whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm looking at it, number 1 and jersey number are probably top. So this is his base set Series 2. Not that much.
Right.
Not that much, Not kind of went down, actually. Like kind of just stayed down. Not really that much activity. If we
Mm.
look at the metallic gold series 2, there's a little bit of activity there, more value there. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the trade deadline, I mean, yeah, his name was, tossed around in the media a little more. But those moments were already a lead, right? So it's not like, they're gonna stop minting them and then like they're gonna be more scarce, right?
Check this out, though. Check this out. I found this very interesting. His base set series 2, 18,000 are minted and not in packs. So there's still a lot out there.
Yeah.
I mean, not out there, however you want to see it.
Yeah. There's still a lot to be had. So
Yeah.
yeah, so when those are released, the value of that moment is just gonna plummet. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's already not that great,
What's the
but
lowest at?
let's
64?
see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
64, 35,000. I mean, ultimately, what I gathered here is that people are gonna buy Oladipo, but they're not mega excited about Oladipo. I mean, are you surprised by that? What do you think?
No, I mean, I'm not surprised by it. He's been, pretty injury prone, past couple seasons, just like off and on the court. I think that's kind of helped. That's kind of helped dampen his clout in the league. But that's not to say he's not going to be productive. I'm just
Right.
wondering how productive he can be as third fiddle to Bam and Jimmy Butler, because I feel like they're both like him and Jimmy are like they're both slashers, right? They're
Hmm.
both like rim runners. They're not going to really help space the floor. Jimmy's not really a good 3-point shooter. He's a good clutch 3-point shooter,
Right. Right. Right.
and I feel
I,
like the same with Depot too.
I think they're very similar, actually. The way they play, they're both tough. They both like to get to the basket. Not high percentage shooters from the perimeter. They're not
Yeah,
really gonna scare you that way. In fact, like, does Jimmy Butler even shoot? Like, does he even shoot?
yeah,
Like seriously?
yeah, definitely. I
Um,
mean, yeah, he's definitely more of a shot creator.
yeah,
Kind of just like he posts up and stuff like that. He's really strong, right? But it's definitely not a 3-point shooter. He's definitely not spreading the floor.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they have other players for that in Miami, which I ultimately think that he's going to be great in Miami. I think it's the type of system that helps him. He likes a big man who likes to move, and set high screens.
Mhm.
Uh, so I think he's going to play some good basketball down there, and then maybe we'll revisit his moments and see what that does. If
Yeah,
Miami starts to make a really deep run,
and Bam can pop it from outside. So
yeah, he can, he can, he
definitely,
can. I like Bam
definitely.
Adebayo. Um,
But yeah, I mean that trade right happened, and then not only the trades moved, but like the buyout market also
yeah, yeah,
kind of kind of like basically almost like the day after, there were some pretty big moves. Andre Drummond getting bought out, right? Getting
yeah,
agreed to get bought out, which we all saw coming.
yeah.
um, but we didn't know where he was going to go. I was really shocked that he didn't go to the Nets also. Like it just seemed like a pretty good insurance for them.
Yeah.
But super happy that he came to LA.
I mean, he's solid. I've always thought that Drummond is one of the best like big men in the league. He's
Yeah, man.
definitely better in
And
Detroit.
I think that he's filling a lot of holes that the Lakers have right now, especially having Montrez at center, who's six
Mm,
eight. He's
yeah,
like
yeah,
he's like a short dude, not a shot blocker. And so all we need Drummond to do is block shots, make it really hard for layups to go in,
yeah,
dunk the ball, right? Just like give a vertical threat, which is something we miss from JaVale McGee, right?
yeah, yeah,
JaVale McGee, you could just throw it up and he could put it in the basket, and we don't have that with Marc Gasol. we don't have that with Trez really.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm most excited about Drummond being here. But I was taking a look at his moments and just trying to see if like that kind of like moved the market a little bit. So, which is interesting. Like, there was definitely a good spike.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
That looks wild.
basically, so the 25th was the deadline, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah. So that was the deadline. And was he going to get traded? Was he not going to get traded? I think a lot of people were buying up his moments just to see, where he was going to go, and see if that was going to, make his moments more valuable. And then on the 20th, so that shot up 500, almost 600 transactions.
It's crazy.
And then the 26th was actually the day that he got bought out. That was the day that they officially announced that they agreed.
Yeah.
Right? And so he was still pulling almost half, like 250, 300 transactions. So people, and I think a lot had to do with the rumor mill, right? Oh,
right.
The Knicks are in serious talks, Lakers serious talks. Brooklyn, Shams was reporting, like there are just a few teams that he's considering.
Right.
And then finally, on the 28th, just yesterday, the news dropped that he was coming to the Lakers. And so the transaction shot right back up to 500, almost as many as on the trade deadline.
Yep.
So it's crazy because the Lakers as a brand, they're just like a worldwide brand, right?
Right.
They have probably one of the more larger, the top amount of fan bases in the NBA, probably.
Right.
Just because the name and the brand and all that stuff. And so when you become a Laker, you're like you're adopted into like,
you get a boost. You
get
a boost in the market. Yeah,
exactly. If you didn't like the Lakers before, but you're Andre Drummond fan, you know what I mean? Like, or if you're a diehard Laker fan and you don't like Andre Drummond, like it's like welcome to the family. Right. That's kind of like LeBron, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, people still feel a little weird about LeBron, but that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, like I love him as a player. He's just, I think we can get into that, but
yeah.
And then today, 217 purchases. So it's, they're still rolling in. So let's take a look at like his more his most valuable moment right now is a hollow. Not an MGLE, but the hollow's going for like 7K.
Okay.
The last 7K. There's only 50 in circulation, right?
Okay.
So I just wanted to see what big ballers we're doing with Marketplace. And
yeah.
So the last purchase was, which is one.
Right. That's the thing. You're not going to see that many transactions on these.
Exactly. Yeah. There's probably not a lot even on sale.
True.
But, but it's so rare. Only 50 out of, there was 200K users in line today. 200,000 users, and there's only 50 moments of these made. So for sure, you're not going to see a lot. But on the 26th, someone bought one, which was, when he was announced to be bought out. So the news definitely had to do with that, I feel like.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, we can hit up Hyperhack and see what he was thinking.
Come on, Hyperhack.
6,900. Right.
I think, I think this, I don't think investing in Andre Drummond is a bad thing. Like I was telling you, I also saw that his rookie card, his Prism, his Panini Prism was selling a lot on the eBay marketplace. And that's just a result of people thinking that his stock is going to go up, right? Like,
Right.
but it's just crazy to me that his stock wasn't already up. He's just such a talented big man, but whatever.
Yeah. The thing is, the NBA and the age of the big man is kind of like in this weird place right now, right?
Right,
You have
right, right,
PJ Tucker, who's 6'6", that's playing center, right? Like
right.
small ball and that new generation of ball that the Golden State Warriors kind of helped to usher in.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and actually Mike D'Antoni, right, with the Suns, just
Oh,
running
yeah,
small.
yeah, yeah.
You
That's
know,
very true.
that's really like the OG. That's really the OG, right? The Golden State Warriors just they're the ones that won the ring. And so ever since that, people started morphing their lineups to have and the back to the basket big man you know kind of faded away. And Andre Drummond's I think one of the more traditional centers. Um, and he's getting lost out there. Like Jokic will just pop one right in his eye like every time,
That's
man.
true. That's very true. That's very true.
So, but Andre Drummond is actually one of the better passing big men. Averaging from the center position, averaging 4 or 5 assists a game. That's pretty good. So the Lakers, definitely have something there. Um, on the screen right now, I have probably his least valuable moment. Lowest asked $18 right now is a 15K LE, so there's only 15K in circulation. Only 764 left in packs. So most people,
Hmm.
most people have literally showing the same story, which is probably by volume.
Yeah.
The reason why it's reflecting what we had reviewed before, because this is the most approachable price point, right?
Yeah.
More
Yeah.
people can
Absolutely.
be wanting to spend $18-20. This is a serial number 9 for $680, right?
Okay.
That's nowhere
Okay.
near $6,900 from
Right. 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 Right.
from the MPLE, from the Hollow, right? So yeah, it tells the same story. A lot of people that are just at that entry price,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
they're enjoying owning Andre Drummond moment and anticipating him with the Lakers, man.
I think. I mean, it's not a bad gamble. I think.
Yes, the thing is, like, the Lakers definitely won't be able to extend him through next, like offer him another contract after the season.
Right. So I mean, that's an interesting thing, right? Like, you invest in a player right now. Is that a player you want to dump like by the end of the season, like maybe third Western Conference Finals if the Lakers reach that, when they reach that? Come on. Like, is that the type of player you hold on to after the season? Like, because I can see someone like a Drummond like spiking and then around off-season time just being like not worth nearly as much.
Yeah. Do you wait until he's a champion, or do you wait until until after? Do you try to sell it after he's a champion, or do you sell it when there's a lot of hype? Right.
I think with a player like Drummond, you gotta pay attention to I think timing is key with a player like him.
Yeah, definitely. It might be too late if you wait until he wins the championship.
Right, right. Oh, I mean, you have a window there, right? So so the next player that I want to talk about is a super interesting player, super athletic, super just like kind of not a question mark, but like, there's a lot to be seen from Aaron Gordon. Obviously very entertaining, definitely like, I wouldn't call him a household name, but if you watch basketball, Aaron Gordon, right?
I mean, he kind of is, right? Because of the slam dunk contest.
Right. I mean, you'd be surprised, but yeah, I would put him in that tier, household name, like for sure. If not, like you bring up the dunk competition and people are like, oh yeah, I remember that guy.
For sure.
So definitely big bump around trade deadline. 1,338 transactions in the marketplace, the most ever. Obviously, you know, March 18th, mid-March is when the pre-sale packs were delivered. So that's that. But this surpassed that because if you go to Denver, there's a good chance that you can compete for a championship, like on a real level, right? And that team is solid. So
I also think there's like a lot of like sentimental value because he started his career in Orlando.
right.
So maybe a lot of Orlando Magic fans who haven't copped the Aaron Gordon moment that, you know.
So check that out. There's 160 from his base set series 1, which is a what kind of moment is that? It's a dunk. And I mean, Aaron Gordon dunk is fantastic, right? You see all these transactions here, you know, triple digit serials, $400.
Yeah.
You know, it was, I think, kind of dropped a little bit. It was about 500 for triple digit serials like earlier on in the month. You know, you're looking closer to 500 here. You're able to get one for $400. To me, Aaron Gordon is a player that you invest in. You know, I don't have any Aaron Gordon moments, but that's a solid team, man. Like Denver's solid. I hate to say it, I don't want to be biased. I'm a Lakers fan. I live in LA, but that's a good team. I will admit this: when I played 2K and I was playing as the Lakers, I could not get past Denver.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty scary. They played yesterday, but I didn't get to watch it. But it's pretty scary just imagining Jokic throwing you lobs to Aaron Gordon.
Crazy, huh?
Just all game. And you know, there's this there's kind of this hole that they needed filled because Jeremy Grant left. Right.
Yeah,
and Jeremy Grant was like a really important part of their playoff run and their whole amazing breakout season last season.
Yeah.
As a team.
Yeah.
And they didn't have that same type of player. So I feel like Aaron Gordon can really slide into there. And I know that the Locked On Nuggets podcast talked about the comparison between them. And I think that they'll be able to, as long as Aaron Gordon, you know, kind of accepts his role.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get like, you know, a similar, if not better player than Jeremy Grant for
Totally. Now check this out though. Like, because it was such a busy week, right? You kind of don't know what to really like how to account for these spikes, right? This is, I believe, his base set series 1 is his Top Shot debut, if I'm not mistaken. Would it say here? Let me see. Let me double check here. If it's his Top Shot debut. It is Top Shot debut badge.
Yeah. Against
the Lakers. Yeah, against the Lakers. So you see that, you know, this is the base set series 1, the metallic. Obviously, like, you know, you could have gotten triple digit for about 800. Yep. Now you're going, you know, double digit 1,600, 1,400. This definitely went up, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense for a player like that. Base set series 2, 35cc, lowest ask is 12 right now. Still attainable. But that's kind of
35,000. There's still 18,000 that, or basically 22,000 that aren't, you know, accounted for.
Right.
So yeah, that's the value on that's going to stay pretty low, if not lower, once those get dropped.
Absolutely. So. But look at this huge jump here. Most of the sales were base set series 2 on the 25th of March. So a lot of people see potential there.
For sure. Yeah. And affordability, right?
Yeah.
That's my price right there, bro.
Totally. No, absolutely. Look at this. This is a 2,532 serial number for $1,500. Like, I mean, obviously it's like an outlier, but
yeah, I don't know about that one, man. Like, you pay that much for a 2,000 serial?
It's kind of random, right?
That is
kind of random. I mean, yeah, that's the thing about Top Shot. You look at these numbers, you can't really say, well, that's what it's going for, because the very next one is $400 for like a 32,000 serial. So, It's
Right.
kind of odd. Let's look at
What's also funny about Top Shot is we can find out who that person is.
yeah. So check this out. Base set series 2 metallic gold, 499. This one saw a lot of activity, but the prices weren't going up really.
Right.
People were just trying to get rid of them. What I see here is people trying to like liquidate, they see that
Sure.
people are going to want to buy Aaron Gordon, so they're like, fuck it, I've been trying to get some
100%.
more
Yeah,
dapper.
I think that's good insight. Yeah, I think that's good insight. People are like, yo, his name's in the news. Let's get him out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes sense if you're holding on to some Gordons, or if you got some in a pre-sale pack. It's a lot of activity here. But I mean, if I might get an Aaron Gordon dunk or something, I might get an Aaron Gordon moment. I mean, considering all the things that you could do with Top Shot moments, I think this is a good one.
Yeah, totally. And make sure it's a dunk, right, and not like an assist or like a
right,
three.
right.
Although he can, share the ball. He was kind of running a little point.
Yeah.
But the ball's in Jokic's hands now. So
yeah.
But speaking of Orlando, there's another. I mean, that whole team, right, just got blown up.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone really saw that coming. Like, I mean, everyone knew that that team was going to start to rebuild, but no one really saw even their best player, Nikola
Right.
Vucevic.
It's crazy.
No one saw him getting traded, and he was basically the first name to drop.
Yeah, the first big name
off the whole. He started off, the whole deadline day with the bang,
right,
and it kind of just like shocked everybody. And so on the 25th, when he got traded, that's 1,724 transactions on his.
That makes so much sense, though. Keep going. I'm gonna fix my lighting in here.
Yeah. And like, it's really crazy. Like, they interviewed him after his first game, and he was crying. He just super teary-eyed. Terrence Ross actually talked about it on his podcast a day or two after the trade, and he was talking about how like that team is just super close. Him, Fournier, Vooch, Aaron, like, all those guys would just hang out outside of practice because they've been there for so long. And it was really sad to see like Vooch like really, kind of get choked up like that. But, Orlando meant a lot to him, and it showed here on the graph, right? Almost 2K moments, right? That's part Chicago accepting their new star, and probably mostly Orlando fans saying goodbye to their big man that they've been behind for so long. Yeah, I mean, I think like I'm not surprised that blew up like that. So hollows usually, right, sitting at 8,500 lowest ask.
Sorry about that.
But the last one that was purchased on the 4th. So the trade didn't really move the hollows.
The high end stuff.
Yeah, the high end stuff.
I mean, you're probably holding on to that if you have some.
I have a base 2. I actually got caught holding the bag. To be honest, I have a base 2 15K LE, right?
Nice,
I think I bought this for maybe like $150, and it's lowest ask $14 right now, bro. So so this moment is bleeding in my pocket right now, bleeding in my wallet right now, man. I actually got it before the All-Star break, because I believed that he was going to be named an All-Star, which he was. And so I thought, okay, well, so he's going to get into the All-Star game. I'll sell it then when it's more valuable, because, he's an all-star. But they made the announcement and the moment didn't move.
I think this is a long-term hold. That team is probably like a piece or two away. Or maybe that's a lot of activity though.
Yeah, most of it, 983 on the trade deadline. Yeah. So, and then it dips all the way down yesterday, 73. So everyone got their fill of Vooch. Well, like Vooch's debut, they actually lost. So
yeah.
But yeah. So don't be like me. Don't get caught holding the bag. But yeah, I think you're right. They're a few pieces away. They have Zach and Vooch over that 1-2 punch. But we'll see. We'll see what they need next.
I think it's a long-term hold, though. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think it's a long-term hold.
I don't know if I'm ever going to see that moment get back up to 150. I mean, not in the next year. So probably in like 5 years when we're in Series 5, right? Maybe, but a lot of the moments that we have right now probably won't reach their high potential until around that time.
The next person I want to talk about is LaMarcus Aldridge,
another buyout guy.
Yeah, in Brooklyn. Obviously, some activity, on the 27th, 400. It's kind of hovering around 300. Then it dropped down to 146. He actually doesn't have that many moments, though. He has 4 moments. Let's look at his base. Series 1, 4,000 LE. That's kind of a lot of activity. Double digit for 420. Kind of looking about spending $350 to $400 for this moment. And that's 4,000 LE. If you look at his metallic gold, 300. Look at this. You could have gotten one for 725 on the 24th. Okay, that's a triple digit serial, and I get it, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I mean, you're looking at a serial 24 for 1,300, and then it drops down to about 1,000. Lowest ask is about $800 now, so it went up a little bit, obviously. But I mean, this is interesting though, because this definitely went up.
I mean, what do you think affects, what affects the sales of that more? Is it the buyout or the ugly jersey?
That is an ugly jersey.
Yo, that camouflage jersey. I'm pretty sure I could see you, bro. Like, it's not worth it.
That is an ugly jersey. But I think anything Brooklyn is good right now.
Hey man, those new Brooklyn, the Basquiat Brooklyn jerseys are really sick.
Oh yeah, those are great. Those are fantastic.
Yeah. So LaMarcus will look a lot better in those ones, and probably sell more.
Totally. Base set Series 2, still accessible. Low price point, about $13, 15,000 LE. Not too bad, right? I still think that's pretty cool. Big boost on the 27th, obviously, right? Serial digit 9 for, same day. You got one for $869. Somebody flipped it. 5 minutes later for $1,000, about $120, $130.
That's a G move
profit
right there, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if you can ever have Top Shot as your full-time job. Probably not.
You need a lot more, I would say. You probably need a lot more moments. A lot more. I mean, I don't know though. I don't know. So serial 5,000 for $900. This is a base. But what does that mean though, right? Like a serial number 5,000 for $900. That's an outlier.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not that. Why would you pay that for 5,000? Maybe they like the number. Maybe they like the number, right? So I mean, overall, some players benefited from it as far as volume. Obviously they all sold more, right? But some people seem to believe that certain players like Gordon
I would even say maybe Aldridge are more of investments to hold on to. You know, Brooklyn is exciting
Well,
as you know.
with Aldridge, he's probably retiring pretty soon.
Hmm.
You know, so I think that he's going to be a good hold, maybe a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you are holding an Aldridge, just hold it until he retires. It's probably going to be next 2 years.
It's a good storyline too, right? Talented player, never really got over the hump. Like people love those storylines, and like I think storylines and what the media does has a lot to do with what happens on in the collectibles space.
Hopefully, I mean, hopefully he wins a ring at the expense of anyone but the Lakers. You know,
Over
because
Portland, that
I
would
mean
be a hell
he's
of a story.
yeah, I mean he's you know he's a really good player, but he never got a chance at the chip. So